and we syndicate out to Transform You Media and PAC channel. So Emily, go ahead and tell more about the show and what we're doing here on podcast.
Okay, so the World of Women started what will be exactly a year tomorrow. So we're celebrating our first birthday tomorrow. Go us. But Zita is all about women and children, with being a midwife, doula, and so on. She is looking to build a hospital over here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as well as one over in Nigeria. She also has her community farm, which is up and going over in Nigeria. So if anybody is interested in helping out with either of those things, you please let us know. But a year ago, Zita came to me and Kurt, and during that discussion, this idea of a podcast came up. And so like 5 days later after that meeting, because 5 days later, the show started. Anything to add, Kurt? Or should I keep going?
Keep on it going, Emily. There's a lot to tell here.
Well, I wanted you to add anything too. But so the World of Women is one of several podcasts that we have going on the World of Ability Podcast Network, which was started a couple of years ago. Kurt, were you the founder or co-founder of the network? I know you and Marcus collaborated with the show, but as far as the network, was he in on coming up with that name too? Network, or is it all you?
It was pretty much his idea because we were operating the World of Ability podcast right off of Transform You Media Network, and he programming and things coming from the Happy Neighbor Project. He suggested the strategy of having this alternate platform to go ahead and get all these additional shows taken care of as its autonomous entity. And so I basically helped him take Transform You live show and to do this network stuff with me, which gave rise to the Transform You Media Network. And so then he basically turned the tables back on me and said, okay, since he helped me start the World of Ability podcast, he just, reminded me of the rationale of having a network. So we're running these two networks in parallel, and allows us to do a little bit more focused marketing and have a little bit more customization between the two groups.
Okay. But that was all started a couple of years ago. On Was it the 25th anniversary, Kurt?
The 25th anniversary was in 2015. The 30th anniversary was in 2020. The American Disabilities Act started in 1990 is when it became law.
Okay, I didn't remember. Yeah, that was the 30th. So the World of Ability, so just Zita sent me a message asking what happened. So it was the World Ability was started on the 30th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act in 2020. So July 26th, 2020. And so I was just responding to Zita. But so the Ability MK Now radio show was prior to this, which was started 6 or 7 years ago. But then it's since starting the World of Ability show and network, we've had a number of different people come to us. About asking about podcasting. And we've actually helped several of them start their own podcast. Zita being one of them. We've helped. So currently we have this one, and we have Tim Trojan on Sundays with the Blue Collar Crypto. And just as of a year ago, we partnered with Zach Clayton and the Pack Channel, as well as the Disability Channel. Once Kurt was ambassador of the Disability Channel. And so, which is a collaboration. So we have, we got up to quite a few shows there for a while, Kurt, right? Now we're just back down to a few, but we're still looking to, get back up to where we were. Right, Kurt? Right, Kurt? Because for a while you had like 20 something.
Yeah, we had 22 shows, so our aim is to get back there.
Yeah. Which, as of right now, actually, right now we have a few new shows in the works. And we have Zita back. A few shows that are in the works starting in the next couple of months. With Marilyn Lemaire from Hawaii with World of Nutrition. The Project Die Hard show, mission update. I've also had the World of Pets that started a couple of weeks ago, or last week. So if anyone's looking to start their own show, Kurt and I are willing to help with that as well. And hi, Hannah.
Hi, sorry, Emily.
That's perfectly okay. No worries.
I'm late. Okay.
Yeah, we're just having a couple of technical difficulty here, so we hadn't really gotten going on anything yet. So no worries.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear it.
But Zita, you're back.
Yeah. So can you guys see me and hear me clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. I didn't understand what happened because I asked Emily a question, and I'm not sure if you did hear me or not. And then I didn't hear anything. Didn't hear anybody.
No, it was like I started. It was like I started the record button, and then you were gone. Like right when I started at the record button.
So did you hear the question I asked?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so then everything I said prior was lost in communication. All right. Okay, so go ahead.
We are still recording and live streaming right now. I didn't shut it off. I've just been talking like 5-ish minutes while you were gone.
Thank you. So are you done?
I guess for the moment, and then if we have any, just sort of talking a little bit about the shows and the whatever. But if you have any specific questions,
yeah,
I wasn't really sure where I was totally going with what I was saying anyway. But it was kind of about the podcast.
Okay, so for the sake of the recording, I'm not sure if we missed my introduction, but in case we did, I was just saying that tomorrow will actually mark our 1 year anniversary of the World of Women podcast, World Wow podcast. And through Zita's Healthy Beginnings, and I acknowledge the assistance that we have received from Emily and Kat, and also the through the Word of Ability collaboration with Transform You and Network and PAC. So, and I really I'm excited about what we've accomplished so far and going into the new year, what that means for us. So, and I say that I'm also going to use this opportunity to ask Emily some questions, and also Kat, feel free please to chime in. And so Emily, I just wanted to ask you, what do you have, what is your impression about World of Women podcast as we celebrate our first anniversary? First year anniversary.
I think it's great that we're that this was started a year ago and that we're still going, and getting the word out there about women and children and the health of women and children that leads to the health of everybody. And so I think this is awesome. And with the number of different speakers that we've had on, as well as the number of people that we've had on Zoom here with us, it's kind of been awesome. I hope we can keep this going.
Yes.
Right, Kurt?
Emily, I just work here. Zita's boss, so you have to ask her.
Well, I just need to count any comments. Any comments about our 1 year anniversary?
I guess what I can say is, yes, is a remarkable point in time. To think of a year ago, Zita just met with Emily and I, just sharing with us, Zita's healthy beginnings and, her work in, helping healthy beginnings, beginning of life, birth of a baby, and, and support to the mothers and the family. And, just hearing all this, I just listened to it as, in social mission work, in ministry, and to look at how we can best, place our work and our intentions, with Emily and I sitting here on the disability advocacy side and the disability community talking about intersectionality. And so what that ended up being for me is with advocacy, they point out that with all the minority groups, that the disability community is the largest minority group. And with that, a lot of advocates and other minority groups value being able to partner with the disability community to create this solidarity and this unity of advocates, because really it's all about humanity. It's all about, humankind and the 8 billion of us around, and how can we all be, a better functioning human family. And so when Zita told me about all of her work, and, even in more recent time, really started to more understand the significance of the Community Hope Farm, and how that's being done for Zita's health beginnings. And, that whole thing, we introduced Zita to Mutual Aid Network. We can find that information at mutualaidnetwork.org, which includes things of the sharing economy, with time banking, project facilitation assistance, robust budgeting, and, so on and so forth. 8 different modalities like that to help community projects, be successful. So again, back to a year ago, as Emily explained, we have a practice of when somebody is trying to make their project or their company successful, or trying to build off a networking with the Happy Neighborhood Project, whatever it may be, we're constantly inviting that if they ever thought of doing live streaming, we'd be happy to help them create such a thing, through their brand. We can come as a disability channel and World of Ability podcast and Compassionate Citizens and, Monday Mission Update, Project Die Hard. We can have people be a guest on our show. But just like this is a great illustration of how the hard work and the heart work that people are doing, like Zita and all the volunteers that make Zita's Healthy Beginnings possible, and those inspired to be doulas, to take on the training and to do that. How can we be more available in today's age where so much is being done by the internet and so much in this video format? And And so Zita right away was open to it, but she needed the handhold. So basically what happened was Emily and I gave her the confidence that she was in good hands, taking a dive, and she was ready to do it rapidly. It was like a lot of people we talked to, they want a few weeks or they want a month or, put a date down the road. But no, Zita's like, oh, if we can do it next Tuesday, let's do it next Tuesday. And I'm like,
it was literally like 5 days.
So apparently Emily
between the time we met you, Zita, and the time the throw started, it was like
Absolutely.
I think it was under a week, which is impressive.
Right.
Yeah, so that gave birth to, as you see on social medias, with LinkedIn.com and Facebook.com, the WOW podcast. And I remember that when I told Zita, what do you think about? We were trying to come up with a name, and I came up with for Disability Advocacy, World of Ability. And I'm like, Zita, you might have started something that maybe I need to stay working within the branding and, just create little sister shows. And so she's all about, the end goal is to help babies, but we do it through the role of the mother and women. So I'm like, this sounds like the world of women. And I'm like, oh, geez, that's kind of catchy. World of Women, WOW. Wow, podcast. And we were like celebrating. Like we actually got there where we got the wow factor right in the name, and how appropriate that is a show about women that we have the wow. So Emily, tell us a little bit more of the reminiscing. Tell us more about what it was for you being a podcast engineer, executive assistant, and doing all your stuff with Linktree and social media and being a co-host here on Zoom and working with the recordings and doing the emailing. Tell us more about your memories of a year ago and the year past.
Trying to remember. Kurt, I think Zita was either the first one or one of the first. Well, no, actually, I think she may have been like the second, if you count Anna Maria, of us helping somebody get a show started. Right? Outside of, I think Zita was the first person after Anna Maria. Right?
That could be right. Yeah, I'm thinking we've helped Mariana Waikiki and Raj.
Oh, no, Marianne was before. No, I think Marianne was before that. Never mind.
Yeah.
It's been a while, and we have had so many shows. It's like my head is ready to explode. But yeah, I think it's been a good experience. I've learned a lot of, obviously. But it's still kind of like a work in progress. I mean, Kurt was the one that got me started in doing all this a couple of years ago, year and a half, 2 years ago. Because it didn't start right away, Kurt, I think, right? It was like several months in. Right? I think several months in.
Yeah, I think that's where you appreciate how rapidly Zita hopped on board. Because, you kind of tipped your toe in the water and, you kind of get used to the water slowly but surely. But Zita was diving in. I'm plunging.
Well, yeah, the kind of the slow thing with Anna Maria being on the show. And then her sort of volunteering me to help you and Sue. And so that was my kind of my first show experience with the radio show. And then it just kind of grew from there. Once I started with you and Sue in the doing like the descriptions and the like post production of the radio show, which was like which was like a sin.
So what radio show? I don't know if you've read the radio show in the last half hour. What radio show for everybody out there?
So we have a radio show that called the Ability MKE Now that is aired through River Rest Radio out of lovely Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And yes, we are on air. Kurt likes his toys. And so, but the Ability MK Now actually started like 6 or 7 years ago, like way before me. But it's great to meet at least a few of the founding members, though, like Adam and Marty and Joe. Not sure if I met the other two. But so it's still kind of I'm still a work in progress. I'm still like learning stuff, but I think it's been a kind of a great experience. Am I sort of answering your question, Kurt?
Yeah, I mean, it's your story, your life journey. You're talking and sharing, so yeah, it's what it is.
And so yes, I might not have totally mastered everything yet, but I think it's all good. Yeah, so Kurt, have you seen my improvement between 2 years ago and now?
Oh yeah, I'm getting comments from all over the Happy Neighborhood Project and elsewhere that, you know, people are thinking of that Emily Gulmer they met back in 2020 and being like, wow, this is the same person.
Yeah, I think I'm a little more no, this is just my impression. I'm a little more talkative than I was a couple of years ago.
I think a couple of years ago, if you'd have been in the same position, you were running back to that room.
I'm very running, jumping and crawling underneath the covers. Which I still do. That's what I still want to do occasionally, but it's not as much now as maybe it was. But Zita, you were starting to maybe say something.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say that for sure you have really improved a whole lot, even last year when we first started, and that's really good, and that is good for all of us. None of us is actually born with everything. No.
We wish we were, though, but yeah.
Yeah, but that makes us human. That's why we talk about babies, because when you think about babies, how the first time the baby is born, you see how he or she, I don't know how many of you see the baby really when they're born, but let me just take you a little bit through that scenario. So the baby comes out. It's like, do I really want to come or don't I want to come? Well, we there will really say, it's time, come out. And the poor baby screams out and it's like, where am I, and what is going on here? And then we say, don't worry, we're here to clean you up, to dry you, to put you back to your mother's skin, so you still feel a little bit familiar with what is going on with this same person you spent 9 months or sometimes 10. So this baby starts to get acquainted with mother, and then next thing is, well, since I'm out here, I guess I'm gonna survive one way or the other. I need food. Okay, then we help her or help him to really locate food, however that is available, especially for women who breastfeed. That's not a problem. Baby latches on, finds their way. Takes them 30 minutes to an hour to really locate where that breast is and latches on. But then they didn't know what that is or how that works, but then we guide them. So that happens from the first day to the 1 week, 2 weeks, then 3 weeks. 1 month is like, okay, I know what's going on here. I think I can handle this, but then I still need help. So that whole journey gets into 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. It's like, okay, I guess I have some independence here. I think I'm going to really try to see if I can sit up by myself, however I want to do it, as long as you guys help me. And we do. We try to help the baby to see if they can really sit up on their own. And they eventually do that. And he looks at you, you come in, you go out, you feed the baby, you give the baby, and it's like, well, looks like people are walking around. So what am I sitting here doing? Let me just start to see if I can crawl. So that whole journey starts with the baby shifting and then starting to crawl on their knees. And from crawling, it's like, I think I can hold on to something by myself if you let me. And then we guide the baby to do that. And from guiding the baby, it's like, oh, wow, I can do it. And then they stand. And then, of course, they fall and they know, they cry, where are you guys? You leaving me by myself here? And we say, no, here we are. And then we support the baby who says, I can try it. Just give me a few weeks. And before you know it, baby stands on their own and like, wow, I can do it. Okay, are you running away from me? Mom, I'm going to find you wherever you are. And then he stands, takes one step, falls back. It's like, oh my goodness, where am I? I can't do this. Please, I need you. Baby starts doing that, starts talking in the language that is very strange to all of us, but moms get that language first. And she starts communicating with mom. Sometimes mom understands, sometimes mom guesses. And that baby grows. By 1 year, a healthy baby starts running out. But that baby is not done yet, right? At 1 year, baby is able to walk around, probably able to feed on their own with good mess. But that baby is still growing. Yes, a baby has acquired a little bit of independence, but that's not the end of the journey. So we know that. Everybody knows that. So I'm just saying this to say that our 1 year anniversary, in a way, we're a little bit independent in few things, like Emily, you getting hold of how to set this whole thing up, speaking more, trying to communicate more with me, with Kat, with everybody else. And here we are having our audience as they come and support us. They bring more knowledge, more challenge, more joy to what we do. So that's a growth. And I see that as something that is commendable. And I also say it that we still have a long way to go, just like a baby. But it's all good because guess what? We still have people who are holding our hands, who are really willing to still show us the direction, who are there, come rain, come shine, who are supporting us, trying to even be our PR and trying to get other people to see who we are and what we intend to do. And I think what is very important in this whole thing we are doing is that we are making a difference. For me, that's what it boils down to. No matter how little, baby steps, but we are creating something that we would never imagine the impact in this lifetime. And that's all we need to do, just to make that impact that we may or may not live to reap, but that another other generation will continue to say, yes, we are glad they did this. We are glad they got this started. So thank you, Emily, for being there, for accepting to grow with us, for accepting to really continue to learn, to grow, to make everything better. All of us are learning, and I'm open to more suggestions, open to more challenges and encouragement, especially as we work with women and children. Remember, women and children in our culture are really not the ones on front line when it comes to management, when it comes to who is who. We are actually seen as we come as second class citizens. We have to be honest about that. And what the whole idea of a World of Women podcast is for us to really recognize that. Because if you don't recognize it, it would be hard to really do something about it. So we're not trying to compete with anybody. We're just trying to reclaim who we are. So when we talk about women, we know the role women play in our lives, from conception to the rest of it. We also know the role women play in the global community. And so, and most of those contributions are taken for granted. And we know it is not fair because if you really appreciate what somebody does, it gives them that confidence and they feel happy in themselves, being appreciated, and they tend to do better. So we feel in many parts of the world, women's health, women's support, women's power are not really upheld. And I feel part of my job and responsibility as a woman, as a consecrated woman, is to really point to those facts. And because if you don't really treat women well, it's going to be a problem with the future because the future lies in their hands, in the sense that they are the ones that got that responsibility to carry babies in their womb. And so, if we really are looking at having healthy babies who will really grow up to be adults, healthy, responsible adults tomorrow, we better pay attention to how women are treated today in terms of their health, in terms of their social economic, in terms of their geographical, locations, and environmental. All of that play into what we're talking about. So, and I want to, continue to remind us that this is pretty crucial, especially in the 21st century, when we know that women are beginning to learn more, are beginning to be more active, and are beginning to reclaim who they are. That we really support them with whatever we have, starting from our families, communities. Then we talk about countries and the global world, that this is for our own good, honestly. I have said this several times that when a woman is happy and healthy, the whole family, you can be guaranteed, that they are healthy. But when a woman is not healthy or happy, I'm afraid it's going to spill over to the whole family because by the design of God, women are made to take care of everybody else, and they do that quietly. So now I'm opening it up and let everybody talk and share if they want. And thank you. Thank you. So, Kat, what are you hoping to do in 2023?
The year ahead, 2023, represents, a few things going to the next level. At the Happy Neighborhood Project, we're going after a Guinness World Record for the most speed networkers in an event that was established with Guinness from Belgium. 2014, 1,068 networkers at a speed networking event. So I just think that's absolutely spectacular that we all met through a community that is going after, world-class accomplishments, like that. So very much looking forward to that. And, it's my water ski journey that brought me here. And, my wife and daughter enjoy the sport of water skiing with me. My wife had, maybe a half a dozen ski experiences before she met me. I'm just gonna try to give a quick version of this, but I always laugh once in a while when I have this opportunity because my wife is into counted cross stitching. Not as much now as she was when I met her. And so, we're newlyweds, and so she's coming out to watch her husband water ski, and while I'm over by the water ski group, and she's out on the lawn at the park, watching, counting cross stitch on the chair, just sitting there looking out on the lake and just doing her own thing. What happened was these kids came over to me, my friends, the youngsters in the club, and they look at me. There's a few of them together. And for some reason, they were wondering about my wife, Sue. They knew her. And so they asked me, Kurt, why doesn't Sue ski? And they kind of knew that she had water ski experience, and it just was weird to them that she'd be sitting over there counting cross stitching when she knows how to water ski and she's not skiing with us. And I'm like, oh boy, you don't know half of it. We have had a lot of talks about, I think it's just like you, she should be skiing, but she has over and over again told me that it's not happening. It's not what she wants to do. But I'm like, you know what? Maybe you can get a different response. I'm like, why don't you all go over there and you ask her, and, at least she can speak for herself. So they took my direction. They go over there, go over to her chair, interrupt her counting cross stitching, and they look up at her. You know how kids can get. They're looking up at her, these shorty kids, looking up at her.
Yeah, and then big eyes.
Yeah. Oh, why aren't you skiing with us, Sue? They just had her, gapped, like, well, how do you respond to that? And she said, you know what, let's think about it. And so the conversation, dwindled, and the kids went back playing and doing their thing. Well, you know what happened, folks, is by the end of that night, by the end of social time after the skiing, she was signed up to the club. And that next week, she's in it. And since then, she's been, vice president of the club. She served as secretary, treasurer. She's done a lot of leadership roles with the club, and actually taking it out to a greater extent than me actually. So it's been kind of an interesting thing. And then our daughter was born into water skiing. But in terms of 2023, there's a unique thing happening for our group. And what it is that for 38 years, our club's been in existence. And in all of this existence, we've been a non-competitive club. So the backdrop to that is there's 33 communities in the state of Wisconsin that perform water ski shows. 26 of them are competitive teams that go to central Wisconsin. They do 26 hours of water ski shows with judging panels and everything, scoring all the shows with all the different aspects, and then they have an award ceremony based on how the shows do. And we just never participated. Well, we've gotten to a point where they're talking about maybe going competitive. But for me, that's just a sign of how well we're doing, how good the club is doing at this point, that they're feeling more comfortable doing this and keeping the dynamic that we find unique to ourselves. And so that would be quite a unique year if our Pewaukee Gators out of Wisconsin if we went competitive and went and performed our show in the world's largest water ski tournament. So
that would be exciting. That's really
yeah.
That's really exciting.
Yeah, so being in the show ski camp of the world, another world-class involvement by yours truly, Special K. So there's a couple examples. I could go on. We're at the tail end of the show.
That's really awesome. Wow, that's something to look forward to. Yeah, that's great.
You'll hear more this summer right here.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. So I don't know if anybody has any other comment to make. We next week is December the 13th, and we will not have World of Women podcast. Instead, we are going to have the 10,000 villages holiday shopping, and they're online. They have their shop in different parts of the United States. They're here in Pittsburgh, and we go to the shop, and it starts from I think 4 to 8 o'clock. Everything that is bought between that period, the Zita's Healthy Beginnings receives 15%. And so I am inviting all of you. I think I have sent out, emailed the link to the flyer, to people. And Emily has posted that also our podcast, the World of Women podcast website. It's on our LinkedIn, it's everywhere. So please, this is an opportunity for you to purchase items, products from all over the world, especially from Africa and Southeast Asia. And these products they're all handmade. And what this signifies is that people are spending time being creative. We know that in the civilized world, a lot of those things now are being done by machines. Nothing wrong in that. But these people who are still in developing countries, but who also have dedicated their life to using their hands and being creative, have done a lot. And it would be great if you guys can patronize them. And by doing that, you are also being a donor to us, to the organization, which helps us a lot because the podcast we are doing, everything we do as nonprofit is pretty much free. But then one has to pay for all kinds of, bills that go with running a nonprofit. And so we're asking, reaching out to people, if you can support this holiday shopping, know that you're also supporting us, as well as supporting all these men and women who are spending their time trying to be creative to provide us with products that are healthy and that are really meaningful to us, especially as the holiday is near. So that's what I have to say. So we're not going to have a podcast Tuesday next week. We will be having a podcast the week after that. And that will be on the 20th.
20th, I think. Yeah.
And if anybody wants to talk to us about holiday, how we celebrate Christmas, how we celebrate Christmas holiday in any part of the United States, what do your states do that are really typical? Please, I invite you to share with us on the 20th. If we have anyone who has that special talent to share with us, we're open. Please contact us, contact Emily, contact me, or Kat, and feel free to share. It's all about celebration. Let's just celebrate. Thank you. Hannah, go ahead.
Hannah.
Yeah, Zita, can you send the link again for next week?
For next week, you mean the flyer?
Yeah, the flyer. I don't think I got it. I'm not sure. I get so much. But
okay. Okay, not a problem. Emily, are you able to do that for her?
Yeah, I'll send it to her.
Okay, great. Right. I'm just so excited. I love the things made from Africa. I'm so excited.
All right. Congratulations on 1 year, Zita.
Congratulations.
Way to go.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Emily. You do a great job.
Thank you, Hannah.
You do a great job. Congratulations.
And also credit to you guys. I say congratulations to every one of us because we did it. And Hannah, I'm so appreciative of your support. You have been with us since the first day we started.
Yeah.
So it is our anniversary, right?
Absolutely. And
yeah.
Zita, you make a difference. Zita,
thank you.
You make a difference in this world. You empower women.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I love this podcast. And we'll talk. Hi, Kurt. How are you?
Doing wonderfully. Thanks for being here, Hannah. This is
good. Did you ever hear from my friend from Idaho, Waterloo?
Not that I'm aware of. If they tried to reach me, help me to know how they reach me, because I'm not aware of it.
Okay, I'll reach out to him tomorrow. He's from Waterloo, Idaho.
Yeah, well, let him know I'm in potatoes.
Absolutely. Okay, I will.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll talk to you. Bye.
All right. Thank you all for coming, Kenneth and Manuel and Father. Thank you all for being here and have a wonderful rest of your evening and a wonderful week. And hopefully I see you again Tuesday, December the 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Have a great week. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye, Emily.
Bye.
Bye,
Hannah.
Bye-bye.
Recording stopped.
Bye.
I know. Okay, so I'm sure you